Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Tuesday, August 13th, 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. An underground reservoir on Mars could fill oceans on the planet's surface, according to a new study. We're also keeping a close eye on rapidly developing Ernesto, just on the cusp of a Cat 1 hurricane. Keep calm. It's boom time. Flash flood watch issued for the Front Range. Strong storms possible in Denver. Through the evening, 4 communities surrounding Denver, including Boulder, Fort Collins, and south to Castle Rock. Evening storms expected with high risk for burn scar flooding in New Mexico as well. The Four Corners region getting quite a bit of moisture. As Tropical Storm Ernesto batters the Northeast Caribbean and aims at Puerto Rico as it's strengthening. In fact, it's right over Puerto Rico right now. Maximum sustained winds at 65 miles per hour. Tropical Storm Ernesto will become a hurricane in just the next few hours. Here are the current tracks, all of which are bringing it just to the west of Bermuda there. So good news that the tracks have shifted west. Bad news is the western side of the hurricane is the most dangerous side and with the most flooding potential, pushing those onshore winds and that water right over the island. So if you're in Bermuda, you should be preparing for, well, Hurricane or Ernesto. Here is the key message for currently Tropical Storm Ernesto. Tropical storm conditions are expected to continue over portions of the northern Leeward Islands this evening and spread westward into the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico this evening and tonight. Hurricane conditions are possible on the Virgin Islands, Culebra, and Vieques this evening and tonight. Heavy rainfall may result in locally considerable flash flooding and mudslides in areas of the Leeward Islands through this evening and over the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico by this evening through Wednesday. Ernesto is likely to bring impacts to Bermuda late this week, and interest there should monitor the progress of this system. Heed the warnings and heed the tracks. The Farmer's Almanac winter forecast is out for 2024-25. Wet, milder, and a longer season for much of the U.S. The Northern Plains is going to see cold with average snowfall. The South, Texas, mild with near to below normal precipitation. It looks like the East is going to be wet and wild, and the West will be chilly and wet with average temperatures and precipitation. If looking at this map lets you understand what's happening this winter, well, you've been duped. These maps are typically incorrect and really don't tell us much of anything. And here's the full forecast. Ernesto approaching the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Fire weather issues for the west and heat for the south. Tropical storm Ernesto continues to track closer towards the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico as deteriorating conditions are expected today. Meanwhile, dangerous heat conditions across the southern plains and Gulf Coast continues. Heat, dry fuels, and isolated dry thunderstorms may initiate additional fires across the west. Let's take a look at the 18Z GFS model. We can see that continuing wet pattern for the west for the next 3 to 6 hours there. And there we go. There is Hurricane Ernesto coming into the picture here and moving up and away. You can see it absolutely rafing. There is Bermuda right there. The western edge absolutely rafing the island. So that would be a very bad scenario there. It's looking like hitting the island at about Cat 3. And then Ernesto will rapidly race up and away from the mainland U.S. Seismic update. Really no quakes of note worldwide. Most recent quake, a rumbler here in China, coming in at 4.6. Overall, low-level activity. Quick look over at worldwide volcano news for the 13th. We've got Ibu coming in with an 8,000-foot puff. Liwatobi to 12. Reventador, 14,000-foot puff today. Sabancaya to 22,000 feet. Sangay to 19. White Island, you could see a tracer there An eruption to 5,000 foot observed on satellite. Semeru to 15, Liwatobi to 12. More White Island pictures. See the glow right there? Yeah. The glow is suggesting the rise of magma. Well, how do you like them apples? Sabancaya to 21,000 feet. Ibu to 8. Popo to 20,000 foot. Semeru to 15. Sangay to 21. Liwatobi to 10. White Island puffing to 3. Explosive activity at Ibu continues with an 8,000 foot puff there, 23,000 foot at Sabancaya, an 8,000 foot puff at Ibu, and wrapping up the list is Dukono, 8,000 foot puff, and a pass. A pass over to space weather for August 14th. A Canadian maple leaf shaped coronal hole is facing Earth, and we did just have a moderate duration M flare. What did that come in at? M, 4.2 from AR 3784. That is this sunspot region directly facing Earth. So we could have a coronal mass ejection headed our way as the solar storm from yesterday has come to a finish, and telemetry is jumping up a little bit right now due to a shift in the phi angle here, and that is pushing up plasma speed, but nothing considerable. So probably no chance for a geomagnetic storm this evening. But there was the other night, and there were some spectacular photographs. Here is a shot of the Perseid meteor showers captured over Stonehenge. And take a look at this full-blown shot there. Absolutely spectacular. The Milky Way, the Perseids. What do we have over here? What is that? And Stonehenge. Beautiful shot. Now, more beautiful shots coming up early in the morning this week with a celestial dance unseen from Earth in years. In fact, if you wake up before sunrise, you'll see Mars and Jupiter pairing up right here. Jupiter is going to be the brighter of the two, and Mars will be red. So get out early and look up. Now, breaking news, a new paper coming out about an underground reservoir on Mars that could fill oceans on the planet's surface miles deep. And this is all coming from NASA's InSight mission. Here we can see InSight doing some seismic surveys and detecting dry fractured upper crust and water-saturated fractured mid-crust. The water is 11.5 to 20 kilometers at depth, and that's a heck of a drill hole. In fact, an ocean's worth of water may be buried within Mars, but can we get to it? Probably not. Here's the paper, Liquid Water in the Martian Mid-Crust, coming out yesterday. Large volumes of liquid water transiently existed on the surface of Mars more than 3 billion years ago. Much of this water is hypothesized to have been sequestered in the subsurface or lost to space. We use rock physics models and Bayesian inversion to identify combinations of lithology, liquid water saturation, porosity, and pore shape consistent with the constrained mid-crust. And what they found was tons and tons of water. What say you? Leave a comment below. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share the video. We are shadow banned, and without your help, there's no way for the channel to grow. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, and be safe. We love you, and that's a boom.